Dodge, 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 dodge. Somebody dodges. Quad, bike, and another LS motor. Well, what we got here is a 4.8 that I got given to me for tuning the guy's truck. He ended up swapping out this 4.8 for a LQ9 6-liter. And what we're going to do is tear all this down to essentially a long block. And this is going to go back in the Volkswagen.
What?
Which you're probably wondering, well, 2 videos ago, didn't you just put the 6-liter in it? And yeah, I did. But we had some unfortunate stuff happen. The 6-liter ended up sucking the pan dry. Going across the bridge, I went to go take the thumbnail for that last video, and on going across the bridge, it ended up sucking the pan dry, and it froze #1 main bearing to the crankshaft and locked the motor up. So what we have here is the 6-liter all torn back apart. Nothing's in it. And as you can see, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but as you can see, the bearing spun in the block and tore the block up a little bit. It's not bad on this side, but you can run your fingernail and you can hear it. And here's the main cap. So it tore it up a little bit. My dad is doing some research and talking to some people in Tacoma about possibly taking this motor over and having somebody repair the main journal on #1 and having it ground down back to the factory size. And I think we should be able to save this block, and then the crank will have to be turned 10-10 or 10 on the mains because the rods are fine. It'll definitely have to be turned on the main, which isn't a big deal. But still sucks that it sucked the pan dry. So that's pretty sure that's what we're thinking happened. You're probably wondering, well, why did it happen? And I'm thinking this baffle that I put into it, with the way it's designed, it doesn't put the pickup tube's not clearing the back of the pan. So when I accelerated to go across the bridge, I have believed that it sucked everything out of here and wasn't allowing everything to come back. That, and on top of, I believe, my oil pump guy, we spec'd this to be too high of a volume, and that also was probably the main demise of why this froze up. Just too much volume, and then not enough oil getting back to the pickup tube. So hopefully we can save it. If not, I have another 6-liter at work that we're probably gonna have to use. Anyways, all the gasket surfaces are cleaned on top of the heads. I cleaned up the motor as best as I could. Threw a coat of paint on it. Only thing we got to really switch so far that I've noticed is, for sure, we got to switch the oil pan over to the Holly pan. And looking like I'm going to have to probably switch the balancer. And even though I really do not want to switch the balancer, but we're going to have to, because of the way this is spaced, this doesn't exactly line up with the water pump that's used on the 6-liter. So I'm going to have to switch that to make sure the belt's going to line up right. We're going to go ahead and just throw the valve covers on, and then we'll get this thing flipped over and get the pan swapped, and then we'll flip it back over and figure out this nonsense. Alright, so tonight's stopping point. Pan is on, valve covers are on, water pump's on, balancer has been changed. Only thing I got to do is get the ARP bolt that goes in here, tighten the balancer down. Motor mounts are on. Pretty much just looks just like the 6-liter, other than we don't got cool guy heads and not a cool guy bottom end. But at least I guess I didn't really explain why we're even doing this in the first place, why we're shoving a 4.8 back in. I mean, I did explain, you know, the 6-liter took a crap, but the reason why we're putting a 4.8 in it for now is so he has something to drive for this summer up until we get whatever's going on with the 6-liter figured out. So then the car's just not sitting dead. He can at least drive it to the car shows and stuff like that. So that's the main majority as to why I'm shoving this 4.8 in there. It's pretty easy. I mean, Probably spent 4 or 5 hours on it today, probably longer than that, but to get it to this point, and tomorrow we'll push the car over here and then we'll set it back down into the car and start hooking everything back up. So hopefully there shouldn't be any more surprises. I'm hoping not. So there was actually a couple bolts that were broken off. I ended up welding a nut to them and got them out. There was one here and then 2 on the other side. But I think so far it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not cool guy fancy motor that it was, but at least it'll be something. All right, so now the time has come that this little 4-point grate is gonna go in the Volkswagen. I recruited some help from Spencer, and then of course my dad's here. You don't even want to say nothing?
Alrighty then.
So it's been a couple days later. Took a break for a couple days. I'm getting pretty well burnt out on working on this. I would really love to start moving on to some other projects. But we got to get this thing done for my dad so that way he can at least enjoy what's left of summer, take it to the car shows, actually enjoy it, because he actually hasn't been able to really enjoy it at all since he bought it. Just because the motor has been out for so long, and then of course I fixed it and then screwed up, and now we're back to putting this in it. So, but anyways, we are to this point. Engine is in, exhaust is on, intake is on, all the wiring is hooked back up, all the coolant lines are on, belts on, fuel system's hooked up. Pretty much the only thing I got left to do up here is put antifreeze in it, and once we get the transmission back in, which is the next step, put transmission fluid in it, and then from there we should be able to do a first start on this little 4.8. It's supposed to be a good runner, but I guess we'll find out. I mean, I trust the guy that I got it from, so I think it should be good. Anyways, we got this little tranny right there that needs to go back in, so we need to get you guys thrown on a time lapse, and let's get after putting this tranny in. Okay, ladies and gents.
Oh.
Tranny's in, as you saw in the time lapsey. And you got a Tubsy here.
What's up?
And now we got the old trusty laptop. We may need a new one. You can see now inside of it. You see that?
Oh yeah. Oh.
I almost dropped it and my thumb went through it.
You've had that one a while.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get in the car. And we gotta plug this old girl in. Save the map that's on it. Ugh. Pluggy, pluggy. Turn the key on. I hear a fuel pump, that's good. Okay, so let's go to USB link, and then we want to get from ECU. Okay, and then we want to hit file, save as. To 6.0. We want 6.0 so that way I can come back to this tune when we get the 6-liter back in here. Idle speed. I gotta lower all this way down because we're not gonna idle at 1,000 on a stock motor. Fill. Sure, that'll work for now. Okay, so I made some changes to it. We'll just work with that. We'll connect it back to the computer. Send to ECU. Probably need to cycle the key again. Got pressure. Connect it back to the computer. Pull up the gauges, and let's start it. Got a couple lifters that are still making noise, probably just from it sitting. Got 39 pounds of low pressure, idling at 650, which is what I had it set to target.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Give it a couple little revs.
He's got the Volkswagen all put together. He's gonna roll it out of the shop.
think overall we're pretty successful. I drove the car last night for a little while. Went out to the local car meet. Seemed to do pretty good. We're still ironing out the tune. Me and Dad went out to a little car show in Cashmere, which was pretty cool. Went out and got some lunch at Hot Rod, and then I just went and drove around a little bit more. But overall, I think we're good for now. So he seems to be pretty happy with it. Not very fast, I mean, but what can you expect? It's a 4.8. So, but like I said, overall he's pretty happy with it. At least it runs and drives again. I know it's kind of repetitive because it just put an engine in it, whatever. But stuff happens. But I figured to document it for you guys just so you guys can see the progress and progression of this this car. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching Kepler Performance. We'll see you later.